Dafür hat in jüngerer Zeit sicherlich der amerikanische Präsident Barack Obama abgeliefert, als er seine Heiligkeit im Weißen Haus empfangen hat. Die Parlamentarische Gruppe Tibet freut sich außerordentlich darüber, dass wir auch aus der Schweiz, aus einem kleinen Land, ein hoffentlich starkes, ein hoffentlich effektives Zeichen aussenden konnten. Wir freuen uns, dass seine Heiligkeit der Dalai Lama heute von Nationalratspräsidentin Maya Graf empfangen wurde und dass er unser Gast im Bundeshaus war. Mit diesem Empfang möchten wir alle dem tibetischen Volk in Tibet wie auch in der Schweiz unsere Solidarität ausdrücken. Es ist uns ein großes Anliegen, dass sich die Menschenrechtslage in Tibet verbessert und dass die Tibeter und Chinesen künftig ein gleichberechtigtes und harmonisches Leben führen können. Und selbstverständlich würden wir uns über einen erneuten Besuch seiner Heiligkeit, den Dalai Lama, selbstverständlich am liebsten auch mit Empfang durch den Bundesrat sehr freuen.
Gut, besten Dank. Nach diesen Worten von den Parlamentariern aus allen Fraktionen möchte ich nun das Wort seiner Heiligkeit, dem Dalai Lama, übergeben. Besten Dank.
Is my broken English sufficient or necessary to translate German and French?
I guess
not necessary. So indeed, I am very happy once more in this country. Since 1973, I had the opportunity to visit this country several times, and I noticed those Tibetan, originally about 1,000 Tibetan, and later, you see the population increasing. Now, over I think 5,000. They are very happy, and they are younger generation, very good education, and some already, reach very, very high education, university, and some PhD, yeah. So very good. And then many of them, now they carry, according to their own sort of education, they carry some jobs and happily now settle here. And most important, it's a good relation with the local people. So, indeed, we are great. Really grateful to Swiss people and Swiss government and Swiss Parliament and Swiss Red Cross, really. So then, recent years, I think active support about Tibetan issue also increasing. So I very much appreciate. Thank you. Then I think all of you, I think already know, I retired from political responsibility. So since 2001, we already achieved the elected political leadership. Since then, my position is semi-retired position. Then, 2011, now I decide, I totally sort of retired. And not only myself, you see, retired, but also, you see, almost 4-century-old Tibetan tradition, Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of temple and spirituality. Now that ended. So now we fully sort of establish democratic system. And hopefully in future in Tibet also, I think as early as 92, one of my public statement, I stated, when time comes, our return with certain degree of freedom, then I will hand it over all my legitimate authority to the local Tibetan government, and hopefully that local government should be democratic sort of government, hopefully democratic government, like that. So now my main reason visit is in different countries or different institutions. And I think the invitation come from these institutions. Their main reason is not talk politics. The main reason is to say they want to share the basics of my thought. That is promotion of human value in order to, promotion of human value, not aiming 7 billion human beings, everyone be holy. No. The aim is everyone, 7 billion human beings, want happy life. The ultimate source of happiness, successful life is within ourselves, not money, not power, not big house, not big car. These big greater material facility sometimes bring more worry, more jealousy, more greed, more sense of competition. So long competition increase, jealousy automatically come. That brings frustration. That brings anger. So we must pay more attention about our inner value in order to be happier one, happy person, happy family, happy community, and through that way, happy humanity. I think only if we create inner peace, and also world peace must achieve through inner peace. Through inner peace, not only intellectual here, but here real inner peace. Compassionate mind, more inner peace automatically come. These are not religious matter, but this is matter of humanity, whether believer or non-believer. That's my number one commitment. Second commitment, promotion of religious harmony. I think in that respect, I think last few decades, I made some sort of contribution like that. For example, when the late Pope organized RCC meeting, really wonderful sort of method to bring harmony like that. So in any way, these two things, now rest of my life, I committed. Then political matter, perhaps some highly necessary to explain. And then, of course, I still, as a Tibetan, and more important, the Tibetan people, inside as well as outside, particularly inside, they trust me. So I always consider myself as a free spokesman for Tibetan people. So some important, highly necessary, so my comment, then of course I will do. Otherwise, now nearly 7-8 years old person, so time for rest. Not sort of the heated discussion about politics, no. So why I telling you, see, the media people, these things, you also have great sort of important role for educated people. Ultimate source of happiness is within yourself, not money, not power, not mission. So that, I think, irrespective of whether believer or non-believer, I think people should educate, pay more attention about our inner value. I think in the modern education system, I think lacking that point. So media people should take more active role in this respect. And then religious harmony. When media always, you see, report some sort of conflict in the name of religion here and there, big news. The religious harmony, no news. So then people eventually, you see, get the impression, firstly, oh, human beings are very bad. Human nature is negative. If that's the case, no hope. That's totally wrong. Basic human nature is positive because the very way our life sort of start, everybody, you see, received mother's milk, mother's affection. Without that, we can't survive. Clear. So our very life is start that way. Till at the end of our life, at the time of death, dying, reality, now no longer any sort of use the genuine friendship. But as a human being, at the time of dying on the bed, perhaps in hospital or home, surrounded by trusted people who show affection, the dying person much happier. Remain lonely. Look, kaso, roof. No human affection. Or even you have, you see, kasati means diamond ring. At the time of dying, kissing that, no showing any affection. Even dog or cat, so like that, they respond, affection. So we human being, affectionate sort of sentient being, or affectionate sort of mammal. So the affection from other is immense sort of important. So in order to receive affection from other, first you must show affection to other. You remain very tough, ready to fight. In the meantime, expect some affection from other. It's illogical, isn't it? So that's the human nature. So you should should educate people. Then religious harmony. Now this point is religious harmony. I'm Buddhist. Sometimes I describe myself as a staunch Buddhist. But I equally respect all major religious traditions. I admire the tremendous contribution, inspiration to humanity in the past, present, in future also, from various different religious traditions. So we must respect that. We must appreciate that. In the philosophical field, big differences. We Buddhists, no concept of creator, no God as a creator. From the, I think, strictly speaking, from those theistic religious viewpoint, I'm non-believer. Some people say Buddhism is not a religion. Buddhism is science of mind. So I'm one of them. But I equally admire the philosophical and the tradition which is based on belief of creator. Wonderful. It really worked. So there is sort of same potential, same aim to build happy world, happy family, happy individual. So same goal. Some conflict in the name of religion, that's due to some mischievous people. That's always happened, isn't it? That's understandable. These few mischievous people who create more conflict in the name of religion never represent the real religious tradition. So you media people have sort of effective, important role to educate people. So that's why I'm trying to share with you. And then another thing, when I met media people should have long nose, like elephant nose, and smell. Front, very nice, very sweet. What really happened behind? Including myself. Examine or try to smell what is because of the front. Then, meantime, what is behind there? Very important. Particularly democratic society. You media people must investigate what is going wrong and make public. And particularly those politicians, when they carry some election, I think people should know what's the real happen, what behind. And religious people also. So suppose myself show holy person, but not very sure whether a holy person or not. So must investigate. So, provided you must be unbiased, very honest, truthful, then carry investigate thoroughly and inform public in order to build healthy society, healthy institution, religious institution, political institution, in order to be healthy one. People who involve in these institutions must be honest, truthful. So in order to create that way, you see, you media people have some important role. So that I always usually sharing these beliefs to media people. Now some questions.
Also, vielen Dank. Wir würden wieder auf Deutsch wechseln, respektive Französisch oder Italienisch. Und wir haben dann die entsprechende Übersetzung. Gerne, ich öffne jetzt gerne für Fragen. Bitte schön.
I have a question for His Holiness. You are proposing the method of non-violence for a long time, over 50 years, and some people say it's not really getting better, the conflict in Tibet. It's actually some getting worse. What do you tell to these people who are getting impatient and want to add maybe some more pressure?
Yes. I think since last, at least 3-4 decades, some young Tibetan, you see, at that time, Afghan Mujahideen sort of movement. So some Tibetan, you see, pointing for Mujahideen, quite sort of more publicity and some kind of sort of effective. So you see, they suggest to me we should involve some violence. Then I respond to these people, to such people who have that kind of view. Firstly, violent method always bring disaster. Now, recent time, look, United States sort of policy regarding Iraq crisis. I know President Bush very well. As a human being, I very much love him, very much respect him. But his policy, I think mainly due to some of the advisors. I think motivation is good. Aim also good, bring democracy. But method involve force. So now even today, the consequences of that still not yet solved. Now it become larger sort of complication. And then also you see that I think causing the September 11th event. Nowadays so-called terrorism much increased. So therefore, you see, no matter what sort of positive goal or motivation, method, as long as you touch weapon, then whole your what's the reasonable goal may damage. Then now today, number of Chinese recent years, even I think last 15, 20 years, particularly after Tiananmen event, I met a lot of Chinese intellectuals, teachers, writers, artists, thinkers. Now very much sort of support about Tibetan sort of struggle. One, I think some of you may know, about over 1,000 articles in Chinese language wrote by Chinese, many of them within China. We noticed all these 1,000 articles fully support about our middle way approach, very critical about Chinese government policy. And then I personally met a number of Chinese students, a few thousand, scholars, few hundred, all when they, at the beginning, some you see Chinese, little bit sort of, or say the uneasiness attitude. When we talk, explain about our middle way approach and strictly according to non-violent principle, then all those Chinese fully sort of supporting that. And I think soon after Tiananmen event, one occasion I was in Harvard University, some talk. There are about a few hundred Chinese, I think over 200 Chinese students I met, I talked, and after that, I think 17 Chinese, some representative of some student, as a representative of the group of the student, and then also some, you see, the freedom fighter from Tiananmen escaped. Then some teacher. So I explained about our struggle, not one side victory, or one side because of the defeat, but mutual benefit. I explained these things, middle way approach. After they listened, then they unanimously told me, if this approach known to Chinese people, entire Chinese people will support you. Nowadays, I meet Chinese quite regularly, particularly Buddhist, every week in Dharamsala. Every week, some Chinese, 15, 20, 10, always come. If we carry violent method, these situations will not come. So government level, something different. But people's level, our struggle, strictly non-violence and middle way approach really bring very, very positive effect. And then Buddhist, I think you mentioned Tibetan culture. Tibetan culture. One of my main concerns is preservation of Tibetan Buddhism and Buddhist culture. Actually, China, traditionally Buddhist country. Nowadays, Buddhist population in China, over 400 millions. Many of Chinese who came to see me every week, many of them Buddhist. When we met, most of them crying. They they sincerely follow Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism. And also many of them follow Tibetan Buddhism. And I always describe Buddhist culture is culture of peace, culture of compassion, culture of non-violence. That's not only ancient culture, but also very relevant to today's world. I always make distinction, Buddhism and Buddhist culture, like Christianity and Christian culture, two things. So culture means related with the society or community. Religion mainly related with individual. So the preservation of Tibetan culture, Tibetan Buddhist culture, is very much interest to the Chinese, particularly those Chinese Buddhists. Then also environment. Someone, environment. Environment.
Someone spoke die Umweltproblematik auch.
And anyway, environment. Major rivers which cover whole Asia, almost whole Asia. Yellow River through China, Brahmaputra from India and Bangladesh, and the Mekong River through Vietnam or Burma or this area. Then Sindh through Pakistan, and another river through Kazakhstan. So major rivers which cover whole Asia, their ultimate source come from Tibetan plateau. So preservation of Tibetan ecology is not only 6 million Tibetan people's interest, but over 1 billion human beings' life depend on these rivers. So therefore, preservation of Tibetan ecology is very much sort of important, related with over 1 billion human beings' life. And then global warming issue. Tibetan plateau, so important. One Chinese archaeologist, ecologist, you see, wrote an article, which I saw a few years ago, the impact from Tibetan plateau to global warming, as much as South Pole and North Pole. So he described Tibetan plateau as a third pole. So it is very, very important. So we are trying, you see, educate people, and also Chinese people, the importance of Tibetan Buddhist culture and ecology. Once these Chinese government deal realistically, then resentment automatically reduce. Then human rights violation automatically reduce. Clear? Like that. So human rights violation is one aspect. We must sort of look at the causes of these human rights violations. That's the degeneration about ecology, and also sometimes deliberately try to minimize Tibetan culture. Out of ignorance, out of short-sighted, like that. Now, I think new leaders come, and many of my Chinese friends, they say there is real sort of opportunity, real possibility, some positive change. So we have to wait.
Gut.
Next question?
Ja. Gerne noch
Of
eine
course.
weitere Frage. Ja.
Too long. My explanation, my answer too long.
Ja. Für eine Frage reicht es sicher noch. Ja, bitteschön.
Your Holiness, you spoke about correct information and correct politics.
Correct. What? Correct information?
Information, yes.
Information,
Not all the media criticism.
correct politics.
Yes.
Could you please explain also about correct education?
Education existing as a result of discussion, serious discussion about the crisis among youth, and also the crisis about corruption, or gap rich and poor. Many things is ultimately related with human human thinking. Now, existing education system actually very much oriented about material value. existing education system, system, you see, I think totally lacking about moral education. So, I traditionally, I think 1,000 years, I think at least 1,000 years since separate education institutions started in the European continent. At that time, moral ethics take care by religious institution. Perhaps at that time, quite sort of balanced. Secular education taken care by newly established institution. The moral ethics, these are carried by church. Now time pass, time change. They impact religious institution, little decline. And family value also decline. Then education institution alone should take both responsibility, taking care about education, taking care about moral ethics. Now here problem. If moral ethics based on religion, then those non-believers difficult. And then also the secular education field difficult. And no matter one religion, very sort of great religion, but never be universal. So therefore, we have to find a new way of approach about moral ethics without touching religion. That is secular way of approach. Secular way approach and the ethics itself, secular ethics. So now I must make clear, when I use the word secular, some my friends in the West, they consider secular means some kind of negative attitude, disrespect towards religion. But according to Indian understanding about secular, not at all disrespect religion, but rather respect all religions, no preference of this religion, that religion, and also include respect non-believers' right. So that, when I say secular way of approach, in secular ethics, according to that understanding, respect all religion, and also respect non-believer. With that kind of attitude, you see, try to educate people importance of warm-heartedness or compassion or affection. So that, I think, we already committed some, with full cooperation, some universities, some professors in America as well as in India, we already start, you see, further research, how to introduce a modern education system about this education, about moral ethics.
Gut, also wir lassen noch eine Frage zu. Wir müssen leider langsam nachher die Pressekonferenz schließen. Es tut mir leid, dass wir ein bisschen verspätet gekommen sind. Es gibt nachher sicherlich noch die Möglichkeit für einen bilateralen Austausch. Und ich möchte dann abschließend nach der letzten Frage noch das Wort dem Präsidenten der GSDF für die Danksagung geben. Herr Berlocher.
Your Holiness, you met with members of parliament from our many different parties behind closed doors. Could you please reveal to us what you really told them? What should Switzerland do to help Tibetan people? Should we speak up at international institutions? Should we send money? What should we do?
Oh, that's top secret. I think these topics also, you see, we discussed, we raised. So I think the best thing is ask these parliamentarians who participated there. No, I mean nothing. Our principle is honest, truthful, transparent. So whether talk in public or media or secretly, same. When I met Chinese, when I met American, when I met Indian, when I met Japanese, when I met Vietnamese, always same. No two Kazoda, two talks. Here saying something, here saying something. No, never. Never. Except perhaps from 1951 till March 1959. Sometimes when I met some Chinese officials or say some nice things, and then met Tibetan ourselves, some complaints.
Okay. Gut. Also, besten Dank. Dann möchte ich das Wort noch Mingmar Reit geben, dem Präsident der GSTF, für die Abschlussbemerkung.
Your Holiness, Eure Heiligkeit, liebe sehr verehrte Damen und Herren, im Namen der Gesellschaft Schweizerisch-Tibetischen Freundschaft und Co-Organisator danke ich Ihnen und vor allem seiner Heiligkeit, dass er sich Zeit genommen hat, während dem strengen Programm in der Schweiz für die heutige Pressekonferenz dabei zu sein. Ich möchte aber auch der Nationalpräsidentin Maja Graf für ihren historischen und würdigen Empfang, den sie seiner Heiligkeit zum ersten Mal im Bundeshaus ermöglicht hat, unsere große Wertschätzung und unseren tiefsten Dank aussprechen. Ich möchte auch den heutigen Freunden der Tibet-Parlamentariergruppe Schweiz herzlich danken, dass sie für ihre starken, couragierten Statements, die sie zur Politik der China-Politik in der Schweiz gemacht haben, uns die Hoffnung gegeben haben, zuversichtlich und mit gestärkter Hoffnung in die Zukunft zu schauen. Der Empfang im Bundeshaus sowie die Unterstützung von vielen Parlamentariern aus allen politischen Lagern ist ein richtiges und wichtiges Zeichen an die Tibeter und vor allem an die Tibeter in Tibet, die in diesem Moment die dunkelste Periode ihrer Geschichte erleben und durchlaufen. Ich danke Ihnen für Ihr Interesse und Ihre Aufmerksamkeit.
Auch von uns nochmals besten Dank für Ihr Interesse, für Ihr zahlreiches Erscheinen. Damit wäre die Pressekonferenz geschlossen. Vielen Dank.
Thank you.
Die Heiligkeit noch gerne anschauen. À quelle heure ici? Oui, mais moi je suis. Moi je peux les rentrer quand même.
Stop.
Thank you, Your Holiness. I'm returning home.
Oh, yeah.
And please make a letter to support us free Dalai Lama teaching program.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you mentioning about culture. Thank you. Much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your support.
Good shot. Good shot. So, thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you.
Pas le monde, mais